What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Infamous Show. You know, we got Infamous Alex. We got Full Res producing, like always.
What's up? What's up?
You got that boy JD's on the mic.
Yeah.
What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing? Y'all doing good?
Yeah.
Good, bro. Good. All right, guys, we're going to jump into it tonight. We've been getting a lot of DMs and a lot of messages about, you know, my family member wants to start riding. I want to start riding. What is the best base I can do, you know, to get my fundamentals down? You know, so we were going to kind of touch on that topic today. I'm going to kick it off to Alex, let him start, and then we'll all chime in. Alex, what you got, buddy?
Well, I kind of get that question a lot, you know, just riding around, and kind of people always see me in a 1,000, you know, pretty much, you know, you for the most part, you know, you got the 600, 1,000 categories. Obviously, you got the smaller bikes too. But a lot of times, I mean, I feel like a lot of guys kind of see me in a 1,000 and are probably on a 600 or something, you know, a little bit smaller. And they always ask me, you know, like, what 1,000 should I get, or what should I kind of evolve to? And to be honest, I mean, I tell a lot of times I tell people, you know, even for the streets, if you're on a 600, a lot of times that's almost enough. You know, like I feel like it's a good all around bike, but it's just once you start kind of riding with 1,000, you know, bikes and stuff, it's whenever you want to kind of make that change, because now you're kind of the one always in the back. So I feel like it just depends, you know, especially, or if you're trying to start out, it just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with. Because obviously, you know, it's to me a 1,000 or 600 still you're learning. It's like learning a bike, but without training wheels. You know, if you get a smaller bike, you know, you have more of a how you say, like a cushion. The throttle's not as torquey. Bike's not making that much power. Bike's a little lighter. So you know, you have those type of categories and kind of see where you're comfortable with. A lot of times, if the guy's been riding for a while, you're comfortable on your bike. You know, you feel like you've gotten used to it, and the bike reacts to how you ride, then it might be time, you know. But it just kind of everybody's comfortability, in my opinion. You know?
I remember you telling me you started on the 600. So
Right.
how long were you kind of content with being on a 600 before you kind of feel like you've maxed it out?
So, and I have a crazy story. I know we touched base on it last time. From 600 to 1,000, I had like a 2 years or something like that for when I made that jump. But in the meantime, and I kept the story out, it's crazy because I had a buddy of mine that I think that was 2013, 14, around that year.
Yeah.
That's when BMW.
The buddy you rode nut to butt with?
No.
Off into the moonlight?
No,
Another buddy.
Another buddy.
Gotcha.
If y'all don't know what he's talking about,
just
check out
bro.
episode 2. This is another story to where it was a guy that had met at PP1, you know, Wednesday nights and yada yada. This is the time I was riding out every night and stuff.
For y'all that don't know, Wednesday nights, bikes nights here in Houston, and we all have a meeting place, you know, on by the loop on Westheimer. We call it PP1.
Yeah. So I met him there.
What's the definition for PP1 before?
Oh, that's Poiser Point.
Poser's
Point
one.
1.
Poser.
Yeah.
I thought it was Poser's Post.
No, Point.
Point.
Poser's
Yeah.
Point. Okay.
Well, that's kind of what me and JDZ, I think, kind of knew it by. I feel like people, you know, switch it up and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, I kind of met him there. I don't know how long I knew him for, but when I knew him, he had the BMW HP4. So it was literally like, I think it was
The 13 or the 14?
I believe it was a 13. It was the first year it came out.
That's 13.
Yeah, and I remember his story was crazy because I think he initially wasn't from Houston. I think he had from another city. I can't remember. You know, so long ago. And what he told me is he had to go to California to get this bike.
Oh, it's a badass bike.
So I think he flew to California, got the bike, and rode it all the way
that boy
back.
thugging.
Oh yeah, he thugged it out.
Yeah, he
you know, so he was an OG. So he was an older guy, and I mean, he was like a diehard, you know, motorcycle rider, and he rode it back. I think when I met him, he had it for like, he had just gotten it maybe like, you know, half a year at the most or something. And it's crazy because at the time I still had my CBR 600, my 06.
Oh, okay.
But I had been riding for like, you know, probably 6-8 months or something, you know.
Right.
And he's ridden with me. We did routes. So he kind of saw like I was a decent rider and stuff like that, a pretty good rider. And he trusted me enough for me to, that was my first
Oh, he let you ride his bike.
He let me ride his bike. That was my first 1,000 that I ever got on. And just to think, at the time, that was probably the fastest 1,000 produced. You
Like
know,
he let you ride it or you rode with him?
no, no, I
Okay.
rode the bike. I rode the bike.
Got it.
Yeah. So I rode the bike and I actually took it to like a little route, which is crazy because I'm stepping. I mean, first of all, like I mentioned before, the Hondas. I mean, even the 600s, they don't have the power. You know, they don't have.
They don't have the
good-
top end.
They don't have the top end. You know,
Right.
they're decent bikes, but as far as power wise, other brands dominate. You know, in that field, especially around that time. And yeah, he let me ride it, and I mean, it was just at the time to me, it's just a huge, I guess, gap between performance on the bikes to where I remember going third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear, and I'm just like
Gear
to
for
me,
days.
it was just never ending. Like I got back, and, I rode it, I was just like, how much power does this bike have? It just felt like I'm on the throttle, and it's never ending. So it's just it was that big of a difference on the two bikes to where it's a noticeable difference, and it's not just that. I mean, obviously you stand on the bike and you're like, oh no, it feels the same. Maybe like the little handlebars a little bit different, but once you're on it, I mean, you could feel like on the turns,
Right.
you could feel a little bit on the weight. Because now you're kind of knocking more weight around, but definitely on the throttle. You're more, I guess how you say it, you got to be more on point on the throttle. It's more torquey than a 600. You can't just yank it. So, yeah, it was a kind of eye-opener for me. And like I said, it was a huge difference in bikes, So at the time, I mean, I'm glad I rode it, but it just goes to show you to where, yeah, you could start at 1,000. But nowadays it might be a little easier. But at the time, it's a huge difference to where if you're not careful, like you're learning with a handicap almost. Cause
Oh yeah, and you also got to think. You came off a CBR 600, probably one of the slowest 600s in the batch.
yeah, maybe pushing like 100 and something.
To BMW HB4.
Yeah.
Limited. If y'all don't know, it's a limited edition bike, only made in 13 and 14.
Yep.
They were all numbered.
Yep.
There was a competition model which had more carbon and
Yep.
magnesium wheels.
Yep.
They were blue, and then
Yep.
there was a regular edition which didn't have the carbon belly pan and
Little
other carbon,
add-ons.
yeah, goodies like that.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the best, if not the best, bike on the market at that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
For especially for the type of riding we do. So that's a huge jump.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. And to be honest, like I was just kind of glad that he gave me that opportunity to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm kind of at the same time, it just opened up my eyes to where like it's just so much of a difference because I've been riding on a 600 for a while, and I would remember like we do the routes, we do all that good stuff, and I would roll out with people with 1,000s.
Right.
And I had to be like
Pinned.
the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was, but it wasn't that to where like, oh man, I can't see them no more. Where they go? I'm still with them, but yeah, like my bike is not coming out, on the big end. I'm on top of six, the whole way, and with that, it's just I felt like, oh yeah, this is almost like cheating. Like you're, the bike you're not really. Like I said, it was never ending to where I don't know if the bikes I was riding with didn't have that, but I'm for sure. It was way faster because I was with R1s and stuff like that. But yeah, that BMW to me was just another animal.
And you got to think, you're going, like you were saying, maybe 110 mile, 110 horsepower bike
Yeah.
to maybe a 200 horsepower bike.
Exactly.
You're talking about 80 horsepower on a motorcycle on two wheels. That's almost like 800 horsepower in a car.
Exactly.
It's a lot,
Oh
man.
yeah, exactly. So no, you could tell automatically the difference, and it kind of gave me more respect, and honestly, it almost made me think twice, to where like, okay, I gotta kind of buckle down and still feel, or how you say, still work on my fundamentals.
Yeah.
Be completely comfortable on this bike before making that jump, and that's kind of what I ask people too. And not even that. Like, let's say for people that are looking to get their first bike, I always tell them don't go for a brand new bike either. Even though if it's a 600, get a gently used or something, a little something low mileage, stuff like that, 600 or something along those lines, because with these bikes, it's just you gotta build good habits. but not everybody's perfect. So it could happen to where like you forgot to put the kickstand down. You're coming to a stop and you're braking and you're not used to the weight of kind of holding yourself up.
Right.
And all of a sudden, boom, you're tipping it over. So it's like those type of things to where, you got to be conscious about. So it's just, it's a lot of little things that you kind of got to run through it. But if you've been riding for a while, you come doing your bike, then yeah, I mean, I don't see why not, jump
Yeah,
to it.
I mean, like you were saying on the last episode, your first time on a 600, you almost lost your footing within 5 minutes of getting on the bike.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
what I think Infamous Alex is saying is don't get you the top of the line 600 for your first bike, right?
Yep.
Because we all know as seasoned riders, it's not if you go down, it's when you go down.
Exactly.
So you don't want to, mess up that investment. And people always ask me, hey, I want to start riding. I see y'all riding, doing this, hitting routes, that and another. I want to get a 600, and actually, I know, or I want to get 1,000, or I'm actually opposed to that. I think honestly, everybody needs to start on a 125.
Oh, really?
I think you need to start on a Grom or a Z125, and ride that around for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
those bikes are fundamentals, and those bikes, they kind of help you. Like, if you're gonna fall, you can catch yourself. You can lift the bike. You can do a lot of things where you can't do on a 300 or on a 600 or even on a 1,000. Definitely not.
Yeah.
But it'll help you build those fundamentals that you need. Switching gears, riding on the streets, going in the lot. I remember when I first started, I would actually go to a parking lot and I would, practice emergency braking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would boom, hit that. Okay. I used to, back when I didn't know what I was doing, I'll use my back brake. But, now, I'll go to a lot, boom, handful of front brake, make sure, try a lot of different things. And then when you're on a Grom, they're a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah.
But all your fundamentals are the same.
Right.
As far as the gears, everything's there.
Yep.
So, I feel like you need to practice that, for at least 6 months. And then when you got that down right, I feel like it'll be time to step up to something.
And I agree to you, I guess, to a point, because let's say the way I see it is for a woman or for a girl, that's almost ideal, because I feel like they're not really like guys to where we're used to kind of almost
But
the
some guys
clutching,
are
the
bitches,
shifting.
You know
No,
what
no,
I'm
no.
saying?
And
No offense, shout out to the bitches.
No, but no, but I'm serious. Like, most of the guys probably they know how to drive standard, or they could get those fundamentals pretty quickly, to where like a girl's gonna have like a difficulty. Okay, when I stop, do I pull in the clutch, or what do I do? And or they're not used to really doing so many things at once, because honestly, whenever and a lot of people don't see it, but whenever you're on the bike, you're busy all the time. When you're slowing down,
yeah.
that's the busiest time when you're on the bike. Because you're braking, you're clutching in, you're downshifting. You come into a stop, you got to hold the bike. It's a lot of moving parts that you kind of have to know what to do, when to do it. So that's where the Z125 or 300 or something smaller comes in play, because the throttle's not as finicky.
Correct.
The throttle's not as touchy.
Yep.
So the brake is not, you don't have Brembo brakes, one or two fingers and you're like, slamming, almost ending the bike. It's more forgiving, and you could learn a little bit easier at your pace and
Yes.
stuff like that. And at the end of the day, like you said, you're not worrying about 2024, $14,000, investment on a 600, or $18 to $20-something investment on a
Yep.
1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I completely agree on that. The only part I don't agree is here on the street. I hate to say it, but at least here in Houston, in our town, people don't know how to drive.
Oh, dude.
Right.
Ain't no
So and nothing. I'm not saying break any laws or anything like that. I abide by all the laws.
Shout out to the laws.
Yeah, I go ahead. Follow speed
HPD.
limit. Yeah.
Shout out to HPD.
I follow the speed limits and everything like
Shout
that.
out to that state trooper that pulled me over and let me go the other day. Big shout out to you, homie.
Yeah, no, 100%. Cool as hell. But no, I'm serious. Like, people don't know how to drive here, and I've had it to where I'm literally on the freeway, going at the speed as everybody else, 65 or whatever, and I've had to where I'm on my own lane, and I remember it was a Range Rover. The car was right next to me. I'm literally looking at the guy, looking at the mirror, making sure like there was nobody like on the next lane next to him.
Right.
But all you had to do is go from the mirror just to look at, to the actual window, and he would have seen me there. And a lot of times when you're on a smaller bike, something like that, you don't have a little pickup to where you could just drive around.
You ain't got
know?
no pickup, bro.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I kind of for the street, you want a little bit of a power, so, or you also want to be moving a little bit faster than the traffic, anyways, because as soon as, let's say, you're staying around them for too long, they forget you're there.
No, I definitely agree with you on freeway riding.
Yeah.
I don't recommend you taking a Grom
Oh,
or
exactly.
125 on the freeway.
Exactly, yeah.
And no,
No,
way, bro.
no, there's no way.
That's
They
the
barely did
55 mile an hour top
Yeah,
speed.
yeah.
You're out of there.
I think it did like 67 with me.
I'm trying to answer the questions if like my family member would ask
No,
me, hey,
exactly,
how do
yeah.
I learn? What's
Yep.
the best way? Okay.
Yep.
The benefits of a Grom, it's light. It's cheap to fix.
Yep.
You can buy a little cage where if you lay it down, you're not going to mess anything up.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? And you can learn that. Do it like that for 6 months.
Right.
Shift your gears. Go through your gears. Downshift, upshift,
Yep.
panic brake. Do every type. I even put cones out back when I was starting to kind of doing little weaves through cones, doing figure eights, doing
Yeah.
all that stuff. You got to practice. You got to get the fundamentals down. Right. That I feel like that's the biggest thing. Speed will eventually come.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. Exactly, yeah. You just gotta be comfortable on the bike. Be comfortable of kind of what you can do and what the bike can do.
Yeah.
And that way, if you're ever in that situation, you know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And no one's perfect. But at least you could take the best rational decision on a moment's notice. You
Yeah.
know, and that's the biggest thing. Because like you said, it's not if you're gonna go down, it's when you're gonna go down.
Right.
And a lot of times, you could go from almost going down to literally going down. But if you just had that practice, or if you just had that kind of like that knowing what to do in that moment, you
Right.
could save it. It could have been, it could go from going down to a close call, and just
Exactly.
save yourself. But yeah, no, 100%. Like I said, I agree with that because it kind of builds the fundamentals, it builds good habits, and it just kind of, once you have that, you could start going, I guess leveling up.
100%. Speed is a byproduct of just practicing and
Yeah.
seat time.
Yeah.
Everything will fall into place with the correct seat time.
Yep.
So yeah, I remember when I first started riding. Let me ask you this before I get into this story. When did you get your endorsement?
Funny thing, yeah.
I don't
so that's-
have one.
You still ain't got no endorsement?
What driver license? I live my life a quarter mile at a time. No, I'm kidding. No, funny story. Actually, I got a ticket, and what was the ticket? I got 5 tickets in one. Yeah. The cop got me for everything. I had just gotten the bike. I think I had like maybe not even 3 months with it.
Oh, wow.
And I somehow it's crazy because it was a motorcycle cop that got me. So yeah, he pulled me over, and he started asking registration. Pretty much he got me for registration, inspection, speeding. What was it? No insurance and no driver's license. Well, no
endorsement.
No endorsement.
Right.
So to take care of all those tickets, so I don't have to pay. I pretty much took care of most of them. I got the insurance. I got the registered the bike. I pretty much got the inspection, got the endorsement, all that good stuff. So I want to say, yeah, it was like maybe 3 to 5 months into me, riding. So, but that really motivated me,
I definitely recommend everybody get their endorsement.
100%.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is to get your endorsement, you have to take a course.
Right.
And the courses are usually about 3 days. Friday, it starts Friday night. It goes through Sunday. Friday night's just classroom time. Saturday and Sunday, you're actually out there on a bike. They'll probably throw you like a little 250 cruiser to kind of putt around on, do figure eights, go through the gears. And, I really found it helpful just to get familiar with how a bike operates. Right. And I remember we did it in a parking lot, and it was fun, man. And you get all kinds of people in there. You get people like you have been riding for a while. You get people, who's never been on a motorcycle, don't know anything, just barely learning. And then, you kind of all learn together. which was cool. And it's only 3 days, and it wasn't much. And then you go to DPS and you just do a written test, and you get your endorsement.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and I think it depends because I remember mine. I think it was 2 days, but it was. I believe it was like they kind of jam packed it all in like 8 hours here and 8 hours there, or something like that. But no, yeah, he definitely used me since I was like the most veteran one of them. Oh yeah, he's like he'll set up the cones. I remember that because he was just out there. I was just his little monkey. He'll put out the cones, and yeah, and he'll pretty much explain to everybody. Like, all right, once you get to this cone, start slowing down. Make sure by this cone you stop or whatever. You're gonna go, the little salmon, whatever, or Salomon around the cones,
right.
yada yada. And then he's like, all right, well, Alex, go out there and do it. So I was like the guinea pig of showing the class on how to do the stuff, and I'm learning myself. But I had been riding already. But yeah, no, you're right. I had I think minimum like 5 people that have never been on a bike.
Oh yeah.
So they were over here figuring out how to turn it on, turning the key, the ignition, the kill switch, clutching, rolling, kind of rolling the bike, kind of making it go. But yeah, it was like definitely like a little 250. It was like nothing, like no sport bike. It was like a little cruiser, naked bike, And but that's a question I tell people because some people that like my first story, that's kind of what got me like, okay, I can do this. I want this. A lot of people, they've never had nothing in the realm of being on a bike or anything like that they don't know if they will like it or not. So before making the commitment, I've actually told that to people. I've told them, hey, the best thing for you to do, and it's not going to cost you much, and at the end of the day, it's going to tell you if this is for you or not, is take the class.
100%.
Because it's going to do 2 things. It's going to show you, like, okay, I can do this. I'm comfortable doing this. And it's going to help you, go ahead and get your, endorsement thing going, and it's going to provide the bike for you. And you're going to have an actual almost controlled environment of what you're getting yourself into, and I've told that to many people. And I think at least 2 or 3 people have done it, that way, that are trying to get into the whole motorcycle field and stuff like that. And but don't get me wrong. I don't know DPS be over here putting some trick questions because I already passed it too. I think I missed. I think I got like an 80 or something because it was like multiple choice to where, a car's coming here. Do you start braking? Do you start you go right or go to your left? And I'm like, man, you just take the wheel. Where's that option at? So yeah, DPS is gonna throw some little trick questions in there. But yeah, I was able to pass it. But yeah, I mean, after that, it's kind of easy. But it's I feel like it's a good thing to do if you're barely starting.
Yeah, I remember on the test. The only thing I really remember about taking the test was you had to identify what everything was. You had kind of a diagram of a bike. You had to like write in where the clutch was, where the back brake is, where the front brake is. Where the blinkers are. I don't really remember many of the questions, but it wasn't that hard. And like you said, man, when you're actually out there on the bike, and those bikes have been dropped a million times. So really, they don't care if you drop it, throw it down. You're not going to hurt it any.
Oh, yeah. No, and the crazy thing is, I believe, if I remember correctly, a guy whiskey throttled.
Oh yeah.
I got whiskey throttled, and it's crazy because, like I said, it was a parking lot, but I was getting scared because this parking lot had nothing but like pebbles and like some how you say, like gravel, little areas, and I'm just like.
Shit, they went to the same place?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I was like, we're not going to go ahead and sweep this up. I mean, is this part of the course?
Yeah. Are we drifting in the dirt?
Yeah, and I remember there was like some actual, like the parking lots had the little lights and stuff. And, I mean, he didn't come close. He was probably like 10, 15 feet. But I'm like, man, if he would have whiskey thrown into that light, like
that wouldn't have been good.
That would have been bad, But yeah, he missed it and stuff like that. So it's as controlled as can be. But at the same time, you're getting on a bike that is not, like you said, the C125. You don't have that much power to have to, kind of mess around with. Of braking, it's not like nothing crazy that you got to be careful with. But I mean, it's to where, like, at the end of the day, I mean, you have to be in a situation to kind of feel if this is for you or not.
Yeah. So how would you answer the question when somebody comes up to you and say, "Hey, man, I've been really, watching motorcycle videos, this and that, but I really want to start on a 1000."
So I think I mentioned it, but I believe it's been 2 guys since I started. Like a lot of times people talk to me and then start asking me some of my backstories, and I believe it's 2 guys that I was talking back and forth with them, and I asked them, and they were like, "Oh no, this is my first bike. This is my first bike, and it's a 1000." And then I was just like, "Man, you are insane, you know, because but he was probably close to a year with it. But he definitely didn't ride like I rode or other people rode. And it goes down to, like I mentioned, it's like anybody, like, you know, you take a child. He could learn how to ride a bicycle with no training wheels. It's just gonna take him a little longer. It's gonna take him a little bit more getting used to doing it, but eventually he's gonna get it. I feel like it's along those lines to where if you do start at 1,000, yeah, you could do it, but if you're not careful, I mean, something could happen to you, you know, in the blink of an eye, to where you never built that foundation, those good habits, so you run that risk. Can it be done? Yeah, but I always advise not to. I always advise, like, to be honest, like I mentioned, girls or women, and I hate to say it, it's just I feel like it's easier because they're smaller. I guess
they're lighter,
smaller frame to where
Right.
like they got to get used to first having this 300, 400 pound bike, or maybe even 500 pounds sometimes, to be able to do that. Guy is a little bit easier. Guys, I always tell them a good 600. Get a good reliable 600 and learn on that. Girls 3 to 4, 400 cc's. If they could do something smaller, that's cool. But I feel like for a guy, the 3 to 5 months, 6 months mark, they're gonna start looking for something else. Because at the end of the day, let's say you get a 125, you're going 60 something miles an hour. And especially like, let's say they're riding it every day, they're gonna get tired of that, or they're gonna start kind of wanting to ride a little bit quicker or whatever. 300, same thing. You're what, 120, 110 or something.
Yeah, 100.
110.
Depends how big you are.
Yeah, it's
That's
what you're
pushing.
Yeah, it's pushing exactly.
Downhill with the wind on your
with the
back.
wind, yeah, with the sail and
Full
everything.
tuck.
Yeah. So that's kind of goes down to it, and a lot of times, even for me when I started, even now, you gotta. It's an investment. So a lot of times you don't want to tie in, 2-3 grand for 2 to 3 months, and then now you got to sell it, and then get another 2-3, probably lose a little bit of money, and then now get another 2-3 thousand plus to get another bike, a bigger bike. So it's better to just kind of invest in it once time. So because a lot of people, it's their first bike. They're not everybody's like, oh, I got 10 grand. What you got out there?
Oh no,
Yeah,
definitely not.
So that's kind of why I advise that way. They're not paying or going and getting two different bikes almost within half a year. You kind of buying the bullet one time. So that's kind of what I tell them is, a 600. And I hate to say it. I mean, I know you're not brand biased, but to me, a 600, Yamaha and Honda, they've always done good in my book. Suzuki and other bikes, they have their deals, but I mean at the end of the day, it's just how you take care of them, maintenance wise, and either the oil change. Once things start coming up, start fixing them. But that's kind of it. I mean that's what I would advise as far as anybody looking into starting on a 1,000 or 600. I'll kind of advise them not to. Now, if they tell me, oh, I've been riding dirt for, since I was little, and even though they don't have no street bike, I guess, background, I would say, yeah. I mean, if you're trying to get a 1,000, I feel like they know the fundamentals.
Yeah.
They just got to apply it to the street. Then that's a little bit different, But that's what I'm saying. It just depends on everybody's comfortability.
But you also have to think, Alex, times are a lot different than when you and I started riding, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about, for me, I think it was 2008, 2007 when I started riding.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
So, back then we really didn't have all the electronics we have now. Now you can jump on, let's say, a Gixxer, right? To all you Gixxer riders, like the 1000, you have an A, B, C mode. So A mode is going to be 1,000. It's going to be full power. B mode is going to be 750, and C mode is going to be 600. So, you could detune almost your bike, with those options. Let's say, you took your course, you want to learn, like you said, you want to make that one-time investment. You don't want to buy 2-3 different bikes. You can buy that bike, and then you can always ride on C mode for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. Then you say, okay, you know what? I got this. You can move up to B mode, and then, you can move up to A mode. All the new bikes, have so many electronics, man, where you can just take so much power out of these things. it's almost where you can start on a 1,000.
And on it, yeah, you brought up a very, very good point. Yeah, if you're looking, let's say, I would say what 2016, and above ish, depending on the brand and model. No, you're completely right. It's not just about the power modes. You have wheelie control, traction control, slide control.
Yep.
These bikes almost do everything almost for you. To where you're gonna feel, even though you're in a 1,000 cc. You're gonna feel very controlled because, like you mentioned, when you put in different modes, it's not just what the power is doing in coming from the engine, but it's also the throttle response that it detunes that to where it's not as torquey. You have ABS. You have a lot of different things to where even if you make a mistake, it could catch it. Because you're still building those fundamentals on a 1,000. But yeah, no, you brought up a good point. That's to where, and it might be even worth it. Because that way, like you said, you might be just doing that one-time investment, starting a little bit higher, but it's going to be a bike to where, okay, in the first 6 months, running on C mode or whatever, get comfortable, yada, yada, okay, you know what? And you could, as soon as soon as you feel comfortable in the setting, let me move up. Let me see how that one feels. And you could slowly, to your comfortability, be moving up on that one bike. So, yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. And, set goals for yourself. I remember when I first start riding back in the day, I would tell myself, okay, I was young, and I would say, okay, don't do anything. My golden rule at the time was don't do anything you wouldn't do in your car. Right, so don't try to squeeze by him. Don't try to fucking haul ass, past this guy. Just take it easy. Don't lane split. Don't do anything you're not comfortable with.
Right.
Then eventually I rode. I got a little bit more comfortable, so I could kind of bend that rule a little bit. I can maybe go around the car a little bit, lane split here. Just as I got more comfortable, I was able to just loosen up just a tad.
No, yeah, and it goes to, and I told this to people, like whenever you're on a bike, no matter if it's a 600, 1,000, you always have to have good habits.
Yes.
As far as little stuff like that, like you said, like getting your comfortability up, but also like keeping your head on a swivel.
Yep.
Look
where you want to go.
Look where you want to go.
Yep.
And that's throughout all CC bikes. That's on motorcycle. On a motorcycle period. And then just seeing what the cars like, being able to read cars. Yeah, sometimes obviously things happen in a moment and you never could predict it. But a lot of times you could see traffic moving. You could see cars. You can predict a little few things, and stuff like that. Kind of, it's good to have build those habits, because that way you don't. If you see something, you're not gonna put yourself in that situation. You're not gonna put yourself in that little position where you're about to get jam packed. Where you shouldn't be. Even coming to, like, I tell a lot of people, even when I come to a stoplight, I don't come, like, let's say there's cars in front of me. I don't stop right directly behind the car. I stop, a little bit to the right,
or to the left, or to the left, escape route,
where you could pull, like, I guess, through the cars.
Yes.
And that's where, like, I mean, I hate to say it, I know a lot of guys from on YouTube and on IG say, hey man, them mirrors are ugly as hell. And
shout out to IG.
Yeah. And they always, they kind of put those little comments out there, and I don't mind. I mean, do the bike do a little, looks a little bit better?
There's one reason we rock mirrors. If you know, you know.
Well, that reason, but also for to me at least, is for traffic too. Little stuff like that, because let's say a lot of times, like I said, these drivers don't pay attention. The last thing you want is you're at a stoplight and you're. I always look back, especially if I don't have any cars behind me, and if I see a car like coming in quick as hell, like I'm gonna go ahead and move out the way. And here it's not legal to I guess lane split. California, it's been doing it. I feel like that should be legal everywhere. And just
is that the reason?
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
So
I would say 99% of the reason why I rock mirrors on my bikes.
Yeah, exactly. And little stuff like that, it just goes a long way, and it's just about you not putting yourself in that situation.
Yeah. Another big rule that I was always taught, and I can truly and honestly say it's probably saved my life a few times, is never panic.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
Do not panic.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you're hauling ass, something happens, don't panic, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Try to slow it down. I can tell you a story one time. It was late at night. It was me and Alex. this was maybe 6, 7 years ago. I had a dark visor on. I was on an unfamiliar road. I didn't know where we were going. We were hauling ass, and basically we were at a split off on 610 and 45.
Yeah.
And then, we're riding the way we usually ride. And again, I have to mention, it's dark at night. I don't know the route. I have a tinted visor on. I can't really see. So there's kind of a fork in the freeway. Right goes to 610, left goes to 45. And we're coming in pretty aggressively. I would probably say 120-ish, nothing too crazy. And then all of a sudden, Alex goes around the car and goes to the right. I didn't know we were going to the right. I was in the left lane. So all of a sudden, I do last second. I try to go to the right, and I miss the exit. And I get up on the median, okay, in the grass, and I'm rolling in the grass, right? Probably, we were going fast.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't panic. I was in fourth gear, I remember. I quickly, I was like, what's going on? I couldn't really see. I knew I was in the grass. I knew it didn't feel right. I let go of the clutch. I let go of the gas. Luckily, the bike died. Maybe 5 or 6 more feet, there's a hill where it goes straight down. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the
yeah.
overpass?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
It goes to like the freeway that's underneath. Yeah,
It goes to the freeway underneath.
Yeah.
And I'm on my Ducati and Adversario at the time.
Yeah.
And, I didn't panic. If I would have panicked and tried to keep going, I didn't go down. I was on a slick. I was riding a slick as a back tire.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't lock it up.
Yeah.
I just let go. Boom. I stopped. And then there's I stopped for a second. I kind of get my wits about me, and I start, kind of backing the bike up, and then this car's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, because you're coming out from the bushes.
I'm coming out from the bushes, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
standing.
And it's crazy because, if anybody's never been on grass, you can't really
you can't
brake.
You can't brake.
You gotta barely get on the brake. I mean, and if you get it on, too hard, that's it.
That's it. You're out of there.
You're losing the front end.
Yeah.
So it's
especially
crazy
on a slick.
Yeah, because I remember that, and I remember slowing down. I didn't see.
I didn't slow down for this one.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I didn't see where he was. I slowed down. I slowed down, and I just remember like I never saw any more cars coming, because I guess when they the cars that
they all
witnessed that,
stopped, bro.
they stopped.
They all stopped.
Yeah, they stopped for
They
him.
thought I was dead, bro.
Yeah, because he just imagine the I guess the road just splits into two, and it's just
a freeway.
crazy.
It's a freeway.
Yeah, but
Where was this again?
This is on when you're on 610. You're coming around the loop. You make a right to stay on 610, or you make a left to go on 45.
this is 610 and 45 north. So if you're coming from, let's
That's
say,
not the half a loop.
no, that's a full loop. So let's say you're coming from the east side, right, on 610.
North already, right?
Yeah, north, but you're on the north side, but
Yeah.
like coming east going west,
Oh, okay.
you have 45 north, you have 610 in the middle, and you have 45 south. That three-way, the 610 south, I keep going to 610 is in the two middle lanes. So that's where I stayed. He was on the left. He was trying to get to those lanes. It's just crazy that area, that little split, there's no curve right there.
Nothing.
So you literally it's just like the double lane, and it's just grass. So if you do
and there's railing where I couldn't get back onto the freeway, bro.
so you have to go back. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, he went and it's just crazy because he said I forgot about the dark advisor. I mean, those areas. First of all, you don't have no light.
No light.
No light or anything. So I could just imagine that boy is just riding into midnight, not even the moonlight, and just going down there to where you don't really know what's there, and almost it's a little bit of skill, but it's a little bit of luck too.
100%.
Because you never know.
It's about not panicking too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
It's not about
I was
start grabbing
thinking-
shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like you knew you were in a situation.
Oh, I knew
you
it.
just kind of like,
yeah,
okay,
I knew it.
I'm out.
I was
Yeah.
like, I need the bike to die.
Yeah.
Yes, I need the bike to die without me hitting the brakes. And I was like, I need to stop. I need to slow down. I can't hit the brakes, so we need to kill this bike somehow.
Yeah.
And luckily I was in fourth gear, so I just let go of everything. The bike rolled a little bit, and then it died.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
And I just I saw him come out literally I was like, what the, and I thought he had maybe lost it and just picked it up and came out, but no, he saved it and it's crazy because he was on the slick.
How did you see him? You just
Because whenever I was looking back and whenever I needed to see no cars coming, I got on the shoulder. And I was just kind of looking. I was about to get on my phone, call him or something.
Oh, so that happened quick.
Oh yeah, that happened quick.
Oh, yeah,
because I
bro.
knew he missed it. Because like, I get like whenever
I was over.
yeah, he was over. So whenever I was looking back, I thought, I was like, man, he took the wrong, exit. So I was just looking back, and maybe he just stopped in the middle or something, and just waiting for the car to pass to get through. I'm looking back. I never seen any more cars coming. So I was like, oh no way. That's when I started panicking. I pulled over on the shoulder, and I was about to call him. And then when I was about to call him, I'm getting my gloves out and everything. I just see this boy just coming out through like between
Coming
the
out the
rails,
bushes, bro.
out the bushes,
I'm
yeah.
telling you.
Pushing the bike?
Yeah.
I was still sitting
No,
on
he
it.
was sitting on it.
I was still sitting
Yeah,
on it.
he rode it
I
up.
wasn't going to let it go.
Yeah, he wrote it up.
No way.
Like, yeah, he wrote it up.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let it go, bro.
He got back on the freeway and he came back to me. He like, let's go.
God, wow.
Wild,
Wow, that's
wild, bro. I'm
Yes.
telling you. So
Wow.
it's those type of things, like you're saying. Like if you jump on a 1,000, you might not be able to build those fundamentals
Exactly.
of if you were ever in that situation of knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Being used to a bike.
Technically, get a Grom.
Just for a little bit, for fundamentals.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
then
ride around the neighborhood, go to work and back. Don't
Kind of naturally grow out of it.
Progress.
And grow out of it. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah. Once you feel like you're comfortable, the bike is doing what you're doing. You're not panicking. You're not. If you feel like you're gonna come into a situation, you know how to handle it. Then maybe kind of look into stepping up.
Yeah, back in my day, they had 250s. They didn't have 3 and 400s.
Yeah.
Now you can go from a Grom to a 400 even.
Yeah, yeah.
And then go to a 600,
Yep.
and then go to 1,000 if you want.
Yep, yep.
Don't rush it, because this ain't a video game. You don't get another life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it, bro. And that's really the bad thing, and it gives a lot of us, a lot of second thoughts and stuff, because if you ride long enough, you're going to know somebody that passes, right? You're either going to be riding with them, you're going to hear about it, and it sucks. That's the only way I can tell you.
Yeah.
I've lost a few friends. I'm sure
Definitely.
y'all have too.
Definitely.
And I always say, man, just slow down. Just learn. Don't panic. Get your fundamentals, right. And kind of like you were saying last time, when you hit a route, the main goal is just to get back.
Yeah.
Just to get back and do it again.
Yep.
You know, don't.
Yeah, you're not winning money. You're not winning no
no.
trophies. You're not winning anything. And to be honest, I mean, and it goes down to everybody lives their life the way they're gonna live it. There's people out there also, probably go out to have a drink or something, and that's something that I've never. I feel like I'm kind of crazy enough already,
Oh, dude.
especially to be under like the influence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like little stuff like that, if you're gonna be doing it, like try to do it in moderation. But that goes. I've lost people that have done that, and it just believe it.
I don't think you should drink.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
do anything when you're on a bike.
Exactly.
But to each their own. I mean, some
Yeah.
people don't wear helmets.
Yeah.
Some people don't wear jackets. Some people don't. It's not for me to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody lives
what
their
to
life.
do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody tells me what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say, oh man, you ain't got boots on. You're no, bro. That's your choice.
Yeah, exactly.
All I can tell you is my experience.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
riding for the last 15 years, 16 years, something like, and all of that I've seen, and that all the people that we've lost, because they were riding outside their means. They were trying to keep up when they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
It just sucks to lose somebody and lose somebody close to you for no reason.
Yeah. And to be honest, I feel like this is almost like why we wanted to touch on the subject, because at the end of the day, like, this is to me, it's a good passion to have. It's a good, how you say it? You can't take, at least for me, I feel like I'm gonna be riding till I can't no more. I don't think I'm ever gonna kind of step out of the motorcycle scene. I feel like it's a good kind of topic to touch, because little stuff like this, I never really, or either you, I feel like no one really talked about it. No one really. You have to almost find your own answers. And I feel like it's a good kind of subject to touch on, because I feel like sometimes, like even for me, like you said, people ask us on the comments or on the YouTube videos about, oh, hey, I'm thinking of getting this bike or whatever. And I feel like it's a subject that, I'm glad we're touching on it, because at the end of the day, it could probably, what we're saying could kind of help
save someone
from
not panicking.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that, or knowing, okay, yeah, you know what, I do need a little bit more practice. They kind of do have a point. I don't feel like I'm comfortable enough on this bike yet. let me stick around with it for another 3 months or something and see how it look,
Grow
how
out
it
of
goes.
it.
Yeah, grow out of it. And honestly, I mean, that's kind of like I said, I had to find my own answers. Ask around, same thing. But hopefully, this kind of helps someone too.
Yeah, and don't ever feel peer pressured to try to ride outside your means, try to keep up. Oh, you're slow. I never call anybody slow. I never call anybody fast. Just ride your own ride, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. We all are in the sport of motorcycling because we enjoy it. It makes us happy. It releases endorphins. Dude, it doesn't matter if somebody leaves you on a turn or somebody leaves you on a straight, or you ride with a group of people and they're lane splitting, going through cars and this and that. If you're not comfortable, don't do it.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing about that. So just recapping, guys, as far as when it comes to what's the best bike to start on, again, for me, I think you start small. I think you start with a Grom. You start with a Z. Get your fundamentals down right, and then you can make the decision whether you want to move up to a 300 or a 400, or if you just want to skip that step and go to a 600. I feel like a 600 is plenty fast, dude. That's dude. That's a fast bike.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy being on say being. I've been on a leader bike probably the last 13, 14 years. I rode a 600 not too long ago, and it's fun. I had so much fun. It was almost like a little toy, just throwing it around, wheeling it up, braking. And that's the whole reason we ride is to have fun. Don't worry about the other stuff, And the biggest things I can tell you is take it easy, ride your own ride. Don't ever try to impress anybody. Never panic. Don't ever panic. You know what I mean? And another thing that actually helps me, watch a lot of YouTube videos. Watch these guys wreck. Because when I'm watching a YouTube video on motorcycle wrecks, I can almost see the wreck before it happens. You kind of feel that too?
Yeah.
Like, when you're passing, like, there's a rule, guys, for me. Like, let's say you're on a freeway or on a regular street, right? You have to anticipate that, hey, man, I'll give you a quick story. When I was first riding, I had bought a... the little Chinese knockoff bikes. I think it was a 250 or like an LF something.
Yeah.
And I was riding around the neighborhood, and I remember this is there was a minivan in front of me, and I was going to pass it on the left, and the minivan turned. Mm-hmm. And dude, I am literally like from here to this helmet, like this.
Oh wow!
From my front tire from hitting it. I locked up the brake.
Yeah.
Skidded.
Yeah.
Stopped maybe, if I tell you 3 inches, is where I'm at. I kind of laid the bike down. Like it didn't fall. I just slowly laid it down.
Yeah.
And I didn't hit it.
Yeah.
And from that day on, I always, I don't, if the car can turn left, I don't try to pass it. If there's a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if there's like a driveway or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you got to learn from that. And watching a lot of, videos online about stuff like that, you really learn, man. Like, God, you know what's going to happen before it even happens.
No, exactly. And I feel like what you're saying, like that situation's happened so many times. I've probably seen easily out of the top of my head a good 8 to 10 videos of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-way road, and all of a sudden this guy doesn't have a blinker making a left.
Oh yeah,
and it's going slow. You're trying to overpass. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden he's turning left, and you're coming through. So yeah, like those situations. Like you said, look, if there's like a driveway, there's a street or something. Don't try to pass right there. Wait until there's no more opening and then pass. Like there's more time. In this life that you could wait another 10 seconds, another 8 seconds. So, yeah, it's about not putting yourself in that situation, But, no, definitely, I think, at least for me, yeah, take your time. No one's out here. And that's the thing. I came from the car scene to the bike scene. And it's a crazy thing because the car scene, you drive a Nissan, you're with the Nissan crew. You drive a Toyota, you're Toyota crew. You have, Supra, you're with a Supra crew. No one really intermingles like the motorcycle world. I feel like the motorcycle world, and it's crazy because a lot of times they see us with like clean ass bikes, right? And I know whenever I started my CBR 600, that HP4, right? Or the HP4 BMW, was a dream bike.
Oh yeah.
That bike
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
This is the baddest of the baddest right now," and I sometimes I get that feeling whenever I'm on the BMW, like the M or whatever, people looking at it like, "Man, what would I do to get that bike?" You know, and it's crazy because just because I had that bike, and even at the time the guy had that bike, I had a '06 600,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, bro, ride it." You know, he trusts me enough to do that, and it's just this motorcycle community doesn't care. Like, at least to me, I don't care what I'm on. I could be on a 2023 M1K right now, and I'll ride with a 2012, Gixxer 600. You know, it's just to me it don't matter. You know, we're doing it for the love of the sport. You know, for being out there on a motorcycle, and you could have whatever bike you have. Everybody doesn't start from the top. You know, everybody starts from the bottom. So I feel like that's kind of like the community, or how you say it, that's kind of, it goes to show how the community is,
and I feel like us as veterans of riding street and being out there, we have a responsibility to talk to the younger crew, to talk to the younger kids, and kind of give them our experience so they can learn from our mistakes.
Yep,
You know what I mean? They don't have
exactly.
to make their own mistakes.
Exactly.
They can learn from what I did wrong and all the close calls I had, and all the times I went down, because I've been down a few times and they all could have been avoided. You know, it was just stupidity, rushing. You just gotta slow down, man. Gotta slow down. So yeah, I mean, guys, if you want to go to our website, we have a lot of new merch that's available. We got our hoodies in. Ooh, we got the
no face, no case.
no face, no
boy.
case, Playboy. We got
Long
the long sleeves in
sleeves.
stock. We really appreciate the support, guys. We could have never imagined selling as much merch as we have. The support has been real. The love has been real. Thank y'all.
100%.
Yeah, and we have some new designs also coming out too. If there's anything you want to see, please throw it in the comments, guys. DM us. Throw up your IGs, Rez.
We're about to drop into 50s. So
Yeah.
it's hoodie season.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. No,
Yeah,
for
next
sure.
week.
For sure.
And
yeah.
guys, these are comfortable. These are nice hoodies. They feel good. They're good quality. They're not the crap that you throw in the washer and it fades, on your second wash.
Yep.
This is actually quality stuff. It looks good. It feels good. I definitely I rock it every chance I get. So we just want to thank y'all for all that. And you guys want to touch on anything before we wrap this up?
No, I think you covered it, man. Like, we wouldn't. I feel like JDZ does a badass job. When it comes down to this, he kind of keeps the ball rolling, and I feel like we're trying it out. From at least for the feedback that I've been getting, a lot of people are watching the video and stuff like that. Watching us talk. So
Shout out to the whole 100 people that watch us.
For the millions at home.
so yeah, no, I always appreciate it, and appreciate the likes, the comments, and we're gonna keep this rolling.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. You see us on the street, come out, man. Show us some love. I mean, we're just a bunch of guys who like bikes. We don't do this for money. We don't do this for clout, fame, anything like that. We do it because we enjoy it, man. This is a passion of all of ours, and we really enjoy the motorcycle community, and we got some big things coming up in the future. So if you see us out, man, show us some love. We'll show you some love, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode, guys. Thank y'all.